Hello, friends. First, I want to thank Mother Nature. What a day. What a great day for Matt and Bena. Just incredible. I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. We have so many friends and family that we've had so many fantastic experiences with in Niskayuna and Penn State, and it brings back a lot of great memories. I know we're going to have another one tonight. From the moment Matt was born, I've had the privilege of watching him grow and become a remarkable man. As a father, you hope your child is able to actually find someone that compliments them, challenges them, and loves them unconditionally. I think we won the gold medal with Bena. So Bena, we're officially excited to welcome you to the Sexton family. Welcome to the family. Little break. All right, we're almost done. To the happy couple, may your marriage be filled with endless love, laughter, and adventure. May you continue to grow, support, and love each other. Let's raise our glasses for a lifetime of happiness to Matt and Bena. Thank you.
All right, next up we have father of the bride, Mr. Robert Land.
All right.
For those of you, who don't know me or have been to the bar too much, I am the father of the bride. Had I known that I was speaking so soon, I wouldn't have danced. I need oxygen. Thank you very much. I wrote a lot of things down because there's a lot to say today. I asked my wife to edit it. There were 11 pages to start, so get comfortable. She edited it. This is what I've got. So you don't have to thank you, Susan. It's really great to see all of you here, and to echo Tim, welcome you to coming here and making the trip and taking time from your lives. I know it means the world to the bride and groom as it does to the families. Before I get going, though, I want to take a little test here. Can everybody hear me? Okay, because there is a quiz later. All right. How many of you, honestly, before you got the written invitation, knew that the bride's name actually was Christina? Okay, not too many. Now, how many of you actually ever used that name? Because I know literally in my entire life, I don't think I've ever called her Christina, even when I was pissed at her. I mean, it was freaking Bena this, but it was always Bena. Now, how many of you know the genesis or the origin of that nickname? It's actually a very simple but compelling story. When our girls were born, we lived across the street from a family daycare center. And she was a very Italian woman. And by that, no offense to the Italians, by that I mean she would speak to you and inadvertently interject an Italian word every 3 or 4 sentences. So the very first time I brought her over, all bundled up after the 10 weeks of maternity leave, we walked in and Dora, the woman, the proprietor, exclaimed out loud, screaming, "Christina Bambina," which very quickly got shortened to Bena, and there you have it. So we didn't name her. There wasn't anything more mysterious than that or some hidden meaning or anything like that. But from the very beginning, Bena, she was different. She really was. And a lot of the speeches last night really spoke at the rehearsal dinner, spoke to how special a young lady she is. But even as a child, first of all, she had to endure what we call the second child syndrome. For those of you with more than one child, the first child, Steph, every bump, bruise, everything, you overreact. It's a monumental issue. I spent more time at the pediatrician's office than I want to admit. The second child, because the first child desensitizes you. When Steph didn't walk at 12 months, I'll be the first to admit, every diaper change had a full orthopedic hip exam. When Bena didn't walk at 12 months, she'll walk when she wants to. So you really get desensitized, and fortunately, we did, because Bena, you know how you heard the term that you want your kids to grow up strong. to be able to face the world head on. Bena took that way too literally. By the age of 6, she had lost a battle with a rooster, had pecked her in the middle of her forehead and bled insistently. She got bit by her best friend's golden retriever in the middle of her left dimple. That took 14 stitches. Lost a battle with a seesaw on the playground that I had to put 4 stitches under her chin. And she even lost a headbutting contest with a brick fireplace. So, thanks to the miracles of modern medicine, we see the beautiful, unflawed bride we saw today. But again, she was always different. You know, she just had a clarity of thought, a intuitiveness that was way beyond her years. One of my favorite memories was when we were, it was a Sunday in Connecticut, February, freezing cold. And we had gone to church, and we were going to go to my mom's for brunch afterwards. Now, Bena was 4, and Steph was 7. So I decided after church I'm going to run the car through a car wash, you know, because it was a sunny day, but it was still 10 degrees. So we drive through, and Steph starts getting into a conversation with us about, why do you have to go to work tomorrow? And then it got into, do you have a good job? She goes, Dad, is your job good? I said, yeah, I have a good job. She says, Mom, is your job good? Yes, Mom got a good job as well. So Steph asks, how do you get a good job? I thought I'd take a plug. I said, you know what? You do good in school, right? Makes sense. So we go through the car wash. At the end of the car wash, there's about a 30-year-old man in a hooded sweatshirt. He's got 2 towels, and he dries off the residual water, and he's freezing his ass off. I mean, he's just cold. I'd roll the window down, tip him a couple bucks. I thought this whole conversation, Bena was asleep and in her car seat. We get to the first stoplight. Bena at 4 goes, man, he must have done bad at school. She just got it. You know, she just literally got it. You know, you raise your kids, do the best you can, and you look for those seminal moments that you know that they're going to be contributing members of society as opposed to being fit for orange jumpsuits. And with Bena, one of my favorite memories, and I got to put some context in this. Both my kids went through private Catholic school, in Bena's case, K through college. And when we were touring the elementary/middle school, Corpus Christi, the principal, who was your stereotypical school marm, pantsuit, hair in a real tight bun, real hard ass, she toured us, and she was telling us about extolling the benefits of the Catholic education, and we bought it. We really wanted our kids there. At the end, however, she told us, she goes, we really would like your daughters to be part of the Corpus Christi community. But remember something. At the end of the day, you came looking for us. We didn't come looking for you. I was like, wow, that's hard. But I respected that, and our kids went there. And I tell you this because 4 years later, when Bena's in 4th grade now, I'm at work, busy clinic. I get this call. This was way before the cell phone days. My pager goes off. Pick it up. My secretary says, the principal of your daughter's school is on the phone, would like to speak with you. My first thought was, shit, Steph burned down the school. But fortunately, I was wrong. And it was this principal that said, I just want to tell you something that happened today. As I often do, she said, I take lunch duty. And today, I noticed it's sort of the beginning of the school year. I noticed that your daughter, she also called her Bena, was towards the end of the line. And as a lot of the speakers said last night, she was universally loved. Underclassmen, upperclassmen, faculty, staff, everybody loved her. So she's coming out with her tray, and all her friends, as we all know, you have that designated popular group sitting down. Bena notices this chubby little boy sitting by himself in the corner. Walks over, plops her tray down, and says, hi, I'm Bena. Well, before you know it, 6 other of the popular kids join them. Now, she was so taken by this principal, that she felt the need to call me and tell me. And I thought that was very nice. I didn't think too much of it. Later that day after work, I went to my mom and dad's to drop something off. I told my mom that story, and it brought a tear to her eye. I thought, wow, I still must be missing something. Fast forward 4 years at graduation from middle school, that family gave you a scholarship. Remember that? Told me who she was. That's my daughter. She always had a laser focus. She knew what she wanted. You know how kids come home and they say, oh, Dad, I want to be this when I grow up. I want to be that when I grow up. Bena never said any of that. Her sister wanted to be a school bus driver for 3 years in a row, which would have been fine with me, saved me a ton of money in college and grad school, but no offense to any school drivers out there, school bus drivers. Bena, nothing about work. I always thought she was interested in medicine. She loved coming to work, was a mock patient in a lot of our orthopedic exams. She just loved it. She was very comfortable in that environment. But we're at dinner one night, sitting down, and she says, Dad, I'm going to be a child psychologist. I go, that's pretty specific for a 5th grader. I go, you want to be a child psychologist? Why? She goes, and no facetiousness at all. She says, Dad, a lot of my friends got issues. Present company excluded. But again, that was Bena. She was extraordinarily laser focused, and she knew what she wanted. And as they said, we have pediatric neuropsychologist, Dr. Christina Lynn/Saxton. So, but she was always the kid that came home with the bird with the broken wing, turtle with a cracked shell. You know, she always wanted to rescue something. Unfortunately, that carried over to her first few boyfriends. But fortunately, she outgrew that before she met Matt, otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here today. But, you know, Bena, you're not only very special to everybody that knows you, but I know your patients will forever love you. You've done such an incredible job. The day you brought Matt home, I could tell something was different. You know, your interaction, I always judge the dynamics between the two people that came home with, you know, and I had 2 daughters, so I had a lot of shotguns. But your interaction with Matt was much more balanced and much more healthy, and the dynamic was there, and I knew there was something special. So I thought the best way to get to know Matt was to play golf with him. Duh. So I take him to a municipal course, and it wasn't a fancy course. It's a course I grew up on. And you get to know someone after 4 hours in a cart with him. Now, Matt, understand something. He had to give me like 4 strokes in every hole because he's a lot better. But we played, we had fun. One thing I noticed about him was this was a young man that absolutely respected the integrity of the game of golf. No gimmies, no mulligans, never improved the lie in his game. I mean, he played the game as though it was a PGA tournament. And, you know, I said to myself, you know, that's something. You know, I'm used to playing with a bunch of cheaters. No, just kidding. But then you fast forward a few years, and my older daughter, matron of honor, gets married. And Matt, playing golf, of course, but actually gets a grade 2 disc herniation in the spine. Now, for those of you who don't know orthopedics, that hurts like hell. And he had no business being there, sitting in a car, sitting up, doing anything. He had every reason, knowing who his future father-in-law was going to be, to beg off. But he knew how important this was to Bena, to Steph, to our family. So he had his mom, thanks again, Jen, drive from Niskey to Boston to Maine while he was fully reclined, excruciating pain at every road bump, because that hurt, sat through the ceremony, the dinner, crawled to the room, and propped himself up on pillow traction. Now, some might call that dedication, love, toughness. I call that Nittany Lion toughness. So go Penn State, right? So we're here today to celebrate them. And I want to tell you that my wife and I just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary this past May. Thank you. And a friend of mine found out and asked me 2 questions. He said, wow, how did you celebrate? Must have been a big bang, huge party, whatever. And what's the secret sauce? What was the secret to 40 years? I thought about it for a bit, and I said, I kind of have the same answer to both questions. We celebrated by having a cup of coffee, sitting in the 3-season porch, talking and hanging out a little bit, nice and quiet. Went to dinner with some neighbors, and that was it. And he was a little taken back. He goes, well, what's the answer to the second question? I said, because we were able to celebrate that way and be comfortable that basically, if I were to give you some advice to the new couple, today, a year from today will be your anniversary. Don't wait until August 24th, 25. Celebrate your love and commitment every day you wake up together. It is an anniversary. Every week, don't drink champagne every day and week, but that's a celebration of your togetherness, of your love, of your commitment. So if you will join me in a toast. To our bride and groom, I know today you become Mrs. Dr. Christina Constance Sexton. You'll always be my Christina Bambina. Cheers. And one last thing. They say that there's no true certainties in life other than death and taxes. I think I'm going to add to that. When the 2 of you have children, that kid's going to have some damn dimples.
Best man, Mr. James Sexton.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? Good? How about another round of applause for Bob? That was incredible. Tough act to follow for me, but I'll do my best. Matt's been my best friend and role model for as long as I can remember. And he's always been a person I can go to through tough times and good times, and he's always been there for me. When Bena came into the picture, she fit right in. Instantly she felt like a second sister, and a lot of times a second mom, right? Whether she was cleaning up after me, doing my dishes, making me dinner, she's really is a second mom to me, and just truly incredible, and so lucky to have Bena in my life. And I think when I think of Bena, the first word that comes to mind is a caregiver. Whether it's her work, you see it in her work, you see it with her friends, and I think you especially see it with her family. The 2 family members specifically are baby Kai and Benny. And I remember the first time I was trusted to watch Benny for the weekend. I was a little bit nervous, didn't have a dog growing up, so didn't really know what to expect. Went in a little bit blind, and I'm heading over to Matt and Bena's to watch Benny, and I get a text from Bena, and it's like a 15-page PowerPoint of everything you could ever know about watching a dog from A to Z, like where the closest vet is, how many times to feed them, everything I could ever need to know. So Bena is incredible. And when I think of Matt, caregiver is not really the first word that comes to mind. I think there's a lot of adjectives that were flown around last night. But yeah, caregiver is not really the first one. And by way of example, Matt and I were doing some traveling in Barcelona, and we're in this big club. It's loud, it's dark, and we go up to the bar and we get a couple drinks. So walking around talking to Matt, and I go to take a step down these stairs, and I completely miss a step, twist my ankle, and somehow end up just falling completely on my butt. And these 2 drinks are all over myself, and dust myself off. I'm looking up at Matt, and he was just hands on his knees, dying, laughing, like pointing at me, having a grand old time, and I pop up, limp over to him, and he's just like, smooth, dude. Real smooth. That was nice. But no, in all seriousness, these last 2 years, living right up the road from these two in Boston has been incredible. We've made some great memories, and I love you both. Cheers.
Next up, we have Maid of Honor Stephanie Green.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. I apologize in advance. Brevity is not our family strong suit, so bear with me. Hi, everybody. Good evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Stephanie. I have the immense honor of being Christina's sister and matron of honor. Sorry, I feel like I have to look at you. Is this okay if I look at her? For the remainder of this speech, I will refer to you as Bena. First, let me begin by echoing Tim's, my father's, and James's welcome and sentiment, and expressing my profound gratitude for sharing in this very special day. This evening, I'd like to make a series of toasts. The first toast I'd like to make is to sisters. One of my very first life memories is going to the hospital when Bena was born. Though I was young, I vividly remember walking into the hospital room with my dad. I could sense that something wonderful had just taken place, and I was full of pride as I prepared to take on this new role as a big sister. From the moment Bena entered the world, our family dynamic shifted in the best way. I was thrilled to have a sister to share my life with, to learn from, and to protect. Upon Bena's arrival home, although I wouldn't know how to label it at the time, I remember feeling a deep sense of responsibility, as if I was being entrusted with the role of a guardian. This little person, so very tiny and fragile, had suddenly become a central part of my world. Growing up, Bena and I had the typical sister-sibling relationship. We played hard, we fought hard. We'd pick up our buttered pasta with our hands and shove it into our mouths when mom and dad weren't looking, and we navigated the great big world together. Perhaps this is a good time to apologize to you, Bena, although I deny having any recollection of this. You are not adopted. In all seriousness, we didn't have a large extended family, so in many ways outside of our circle of friends, we only had each other. As the older sibling, I naturally thought of myself as the guide, the protector, the wise one. As it turns out, my little sister has taught me more than I could have ever imagined. She's taught me that having your little sister take your math placement exam for college will land you in advanced calculus where you don't belong. She's taught me that allowing your best friend to secretly ply your little sister with shots the night before a final exam will end up badly, though I'm pretty sure Bena still aced that exam. She's taught me that despite being the recipient of hand-me-down clothes, a hand-me-down car, even a hand-me-down cell phone number because you absolutely had to get a T-Mobile Sidekick and get a new plan, you can still pave your own path. She's taught me that genetics are strong, and sometimes they come out for better or worse. Here's a funny story. Bena and I once got into an argument, and in our frustration, we simultaneously both slammed our heels on the ground. We each ended up fracturing our non-dominant heels, and our dad was so embarrassed he had to send us to 2 different orthopedic friends for x-rays. We had to lie to the doctors about how we broke our heels, of course. I digress. Bena's also taught me that loyalty and consistently showing up for people will bring you a full life with ironclad friendships that go the distance, as evidenced by all of you here today. She's taught me that sweating the small stuff will only cloud your ability to focus on what really matters, although this weekend there was some panic over freeze pops. She's taught me that establishing traditions like sleeping with your sister every Christmas Eve will create lasting memories that you'll reflect on and hold dear to you for your lifetime. She's taught me that asking or forcing your little sister to capture videos and photos of you and your friends during your most outlandish moments is a subtle yet effective way to always keep her included. She's taught me that staying true to your principles and doing the right thing will always be in style. She's taught me that there's so much power in making people feel seen, heard, loved, whether you've known them for 10 years or 10 minutes. And she's taught me that dedication to medical practice can change the lives of patients and families in the most meaningful way. As you all know by now, Bena is a nickname. Her full name, until she officially changes it, which is actually kind of a bitch, is Christina Constance Lynn. Constance was our paternal grandmother, who Bena always looked up to with the utmost admiration. Connie was a lot of things. She was a woman of high standards, a selfless mother and caretaker, and a practicing Buddhist who fiercely committed herself to spirituality, hard work, and family. I see her beauty, compassion, strength, and grace in Bena every single day. Beanie, I firmly believe Grandma's here with us right now, and she's so proud of the woman you've become, as we all are. You all saw my daughter roll down the aisle earlier. Her name is Kaya. Bena is the best auntie to Kaya B. People often ask if Dakota and I would prefer to have a boy or a girl next. Truthfully, health is all we care about. But while I know Dakota would be thrilled to have a little guy, I would love to give Kaya a little sister who I could only pray would be just like Bena. My little Beanie, seeing you today, radiant and full of joy, beside your now husband, surrounded by all your people, my heart is so full for you. Being your big sister is the greatest gift, and I thank you for being on this journey of life with me. Despite our fractured heels, our bond is a testament to the power of sisterhood and the joy that comes with watching someone you love so deeply grow and thrive. So if you could raise your glasses, here's to sisters. I don't have a glass, but there's 2 more toasts. Hold on. The next toast I'd like to make this evening is to love. Matt and Bena, today's a big day. It's the big day for you to celebrate your love that has evolved from Sundays watching Westworld, ? To raising a dog, to supporting each other through major job and school milestones, to traveling across Europe, to folk concerts that I don't understand, friend trips, and everything in between. While you've shared some incredible experiences, I'd bet that some of your favorite, most memorable moments have taken place right at home. For those who don't know, Matt and Bena love to prepare elaborate dinners. You could even go as far as to say that to know Bena and Matt is to dine with them. I've been lucky enough to be there for some of these dinners. James, you too. Connie made an excellent sticky rice that Bena has all but perfected. But I don't think it's about the food at all. It's a ritual. It's their special time. And that's the thing about love and marriage. It's not about grand gestures or expensive trips, or it's about the seemingly insignificant moments. The few minutes in the morning before you start your day, telling stories and often debating whose version is accurate, picking up non-dairy Ben & Jerry's, lazy Sundays with Benny, deep belly laughs with your friends. During the speeches last night, which were incredible, by the way, we heard from Matt and Bena's closest friends about them both as individuals, each an amazing person in their own right, and as a couple, where the sum is truly greater than the parts. It was no surprise to hear recurring themes of balance, how they bring out the best in each other, Matt chilling Bena out and Bena keeping Matt organized, and their unwavering loyalty and love for their friends and family. It was evident from every speech, every anecdote, that Bena and Matt have created a beautiful life surrounded by a close-knit circle of friends who would do anything for them. Speaking of doing anything for people, Matt, I want to take a moment to thank you. 3 years ago this week, your back essentially broke. You could barely walk, sit, sleep. You were in the most amount of pain you've probably ever been in. But somehow you got in the car with Jen, despite how uncomfortable it was to sit. You put on a tux and came to my wedding. You sat at the head table with a smile on your face as if nothing was wrong. I can't tell you how much that meant to me, but more importantly to Bena. It's gestures like these, showing up even when it's hard and sometimes physically really painful, that reassure me you are the right person for my sister to trust with her life. I haven't been married long, like I said, 3 years this week. Hi, Dakota. But I'd be remiss not to offer some words of advice. My advice to you both is to let love, in all of its forms, be your North Star. Encourage each other, but don't be afraid to disagree. I don't think that's a problem. Don't keep score. Put empathy and trust at the forefront. Recognize your love languages and lean into them. Don't run away from adversity. Take it on hand in hand. For so long, it was just me and Bena sharing our lives, sitting across the kitchen table, eating some type of sugary, delicious cereal every morning. As her older sister, I always felt it was my duty to take care of her. I still feel that way. But Matt, I couldn't be more confident that you're that person today, tomorrow, forever. You get to sit across the kitchen table from this beautiful, one-of-a-kind human for the rest of time. So if you could all raise your glasses to Bena and Matt, may your love inspire one another, encourage growth, and bring a sense of fulfillment that only love can provide. I have one more. Okay, sorry. Third and final toast this evening. I told you we struggle with brevity. Okay, third and final toast this evening is to family. There's the family that we're born into, and then there's the family that we create through love and choice. Today we celebrate the Lynns and the Sextons officially becoming family. Over the years, I've had the pleasure of getting to know the Sextons. It's hard not to immediately think about the attributes of discipline, resilience, mental toughness, and goal setting when you have before you a family of accomplished athletes who have competed at some of the highest levels. While raising 3 collegiate athletes is undoubtedly impressive, what's even more inspiring to me is the Sextons' commitment to putting family first always. You guys are tight, and you welcomed Bena into your hearts and home as a member of your family a long time ago, and we are so grateful for that. When it comes to the Lynns, it's hard not to immediately think about neuroses, detail orientation. Have you seen this event tonight that Bena planned? And all the other events she's planned? Overthinking, Lysol, type A tendencies, sour candy, but most importantly, selflessness. While our families certainly have our differences, I see more parallels than not. Endless love, boundless support, sacrifice. I didn't think I was funny, but I hear laughter over here, so thank you. Mom, Dad, Jen, Tim, you've likely had to put aside your own dreams and desires aside at some point to ensure that we've all had the best opportunities. How lucky are we? But I suppose that's what family's all about. Bena and Matt, while you became family long before this event, today marks the official start of your shared journey. The foundation upon which to build your family is so rock solid, thanks to our parents. So long as you continue to create a space where trust and love will thrive, everything will fall into place. I look forward to many more elaborate dinners, hopefully with more tiny humans as the years go on. Alas, today we celebrate the families that have shaped us, the families we continue to build, the love that binds us all, and of course, new beginnings. The late Anthony Bourdain once said, "The perfect meal, or the best meals, occur in a context that frequently has very little to do with the food itself." To Bena and Matt, may your life together be filled with perfect meals and moments where the context makes everything just right. Cheers.